And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 194. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. So I know you guys recently saw me do a comic book review on Bug Wars #1, which was written by Jason Aaron with Professor Savage Dad. What ended up happening was his computer or internet just crashed out, and then I didn't know if he was going to be able to come back. So that's the reason why I ended up basically ending that episode and then deleting it, because generally when that happens, we do these kind of episodes with 2 or at least 3 people, and one person dipping out is fine if that happens, because then generally speaking, you'll have another person here to talk to. But generally if it's me and one other person, that person dips out. It's not because they willingly did it because it wasn't a malicious intent. Because things happen on Wi-Fi and internet and computer systems, right? So if I'm ever by myself, I don't know if you're going to come back. I have to end it because I can't really be doing this alone. I have to do this with people, generally speaking. Now, gaming streams, I do alone. I just game. But when it comes to these shows, if no one else is here, well, people know this, I wouldn't be doing this, honestly. So, that's kind of how it went. But don't worry. I have a plan. I had a plan B. Tomorrow, when we do the episode of the MSK show with Lunchbox Warren, which we have on Thursdays, we're going to be doing a comic book review on Ultimate Wolverine, issue #2, and Bug Wars #1. So we'll just make up for it tomorrow. It's okay. I already remember all the book. It's only just issue #1. It's fine, honestly. All I have to do is just remember issue #2 for Ultimate Wolverine, because I have to read that first anyway. So we're all good. Everything's okay. And the reason why you guys saw me take down another League of Legends episode that I was doing when I was streaming it is because randomly my internet just went out for 5 minutes. And then it just randomly, it was because sometimes the internet will drop sometimes, but then it just goes straight back. It literally just went out. Legitimately. I usually only say that when I try to get out of a one-on-one for a person that I know has no personality and I just don't want to talk to.
It seems like it still applies here.
So my internet actually legitimately went out, and then I've tried to stream League a few times, but my internet's been very bad on it sometimes. So sorry about episodes of me game streaming League of Legends or this one not being there. It's just technical difficulties, but it's okay. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. That's all in the past. I was slightly tilted. It's okay. We can bounce back. We always do. And we have one topic for tonight's show on this episode of the MSK show, which we'll be going over in a little bit here. I want to bring on 3-4 different topics this episode tonight. I want to make sure it's one and done. I can, clip this out later on and then upload it. We have great conversations here. A lot of people really like them. And I want to make sure you guys get those fulfilling conversations. Sometimes we even just have 2 topics because sometimes a nice balance of 2 is very good. Me, I'm the Jedi Master, and then I have my Padawan that's under me, So speaking of all of that, we'll do intros really quickly, and then we'll get into our topic in a little bit here. But, I didn't realize that Marvel on their YouTube channel was into doing chair streams, actually. Chair streams, guys, are a joke that people do on Twitch when they leave and go to the bathroom, or they have to kind of do something, or they have a call they just leave the chair there and people go chair hype, chair stream. Marvel literally did a chair stream today where in reality they could have literally just had a stream and pull pictures of the celebrity and show them to you, which would be a lot more interactive. But no, they chose to film chairs and move a camera slowly. For what? Jesus Christ. Holy shit. We'll cover that.
Nice chairs
soon. They were kind of, I guess they were engraved.
What was important was the names on them, and there was a couple cool ones.
There's a couple cool ones. Yeah. And then it's also this other big problem where a lot of people basically went, hey, these are a bunch of characters I actually give no fucks about. But the ones you do care about, you're like, okay, these are kind of cool. The one that I really didn't care for was bringing back James Marsden to play Cyclops. Guys, I don't care what anyone says about those Fox Marvel movies they put out a long time ago. No one likes his portrayal of Cyclops. I don't even know why they would even attempt to bring that guy back. He was about as bad as fucking Anna Paquin as Rogue. Like, I know people have like nostalgia goggles for those action movies. I think some of them are good. Like Days of Future Past is fucking great. First Class is very good. That very first one is weird and campy, but I like it to some degree. X2 is fucking awesome. Like they have some really awesome movies. The high highs were there, but the low lows were just really bad. And some of those castings, were never really the issue. It was just the portrayal of the characters, and it was just the amount of screen time they got. They really only ever focused on like Wolverine and Magneto and Professor X most of the time, but they're bringing like James Marsden coming back as Cyclops is just stupid. Why? He was never liked as Cyclops. He's better as the Pie Lord fucking dude in Sonic the Hedgehog. He's better than that, but nevertheless,
yeah.
Talk
well, but you got to think, like, Marvel is a couple years behind everything, and they're just now catching wind of the Chris Evans as Johnny Flame on. Why not kind of
they're really cashing in on that nostalgia. They're trying to cash in on that Deadpool nostalgia. Like, they're bringing back the entire Fox crew, like Patrick Swayze, Ian McKellen. What was some of the other names? It was
Rebecca Romijn.
She's coming back. They're bringing in Channing Tatum, so they might not be the Fox X-Men.
But they did say that all the reveals haven't been revealed yet, so there could be more, depending on
Hugh Jackson's going to be in it.
Yeah, because Benedict Cumberbatch, he was like, well, I'm not going to be in it. Then he retracted saying he was, and then today he wasn't there. I know there were rumors about Spider-Man being a big part of like both movies. He wasn't announced in there yet. But do you mind, guys?
Well, Tom Hiddleston was, but not Spider. You're right. Spider-Man wasn't mentioned.
Because, wait a minute. When is Spider-Man 4 coming out? Isn't that in 2026? I remember they said 2026. I think so, right?
Yeah.
So that means is it coming out? It would have to come out before Secret Wars, right?
I think it's helping lead into it, from what I understand. I'm not 100% sure what the plan is, but I think I read somewhere that it was like Spider-Man is helping set up Secret Wars, and Secret Wars moves into Avengers Doom, which is essentially the Battle Planet storyline, apparently. Yeah. So we'll see, how that all works out. These are all Hail Marys by Marvel, though. They got to do something.
Oh yeah, they know it's because we'll probably end up covering it next week, but we heard the rumors that they're going to be doing the whole they're going to use Secret Wars as a soft reboot, but we knew that was going to happen anyway because they're suddenly realizing that this whole Phase 4 TV show phase of Marvel has just not been good, And I will always say this: killing off Iron Man, and retiring Captain America. It's a bad idea. It's a stupid idea. Pretty sure I was vindicated in the way I thought then. When you take away Michael Jordan and like Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant and big star people that people want to see, come to find out they don't like watching a lot of bench warmers. Some of them are cool. Some of them could have been big, but Marvel ended up fumbling with a lot of them. But nevertheless, we'll go over that in a little bit later on. We'll start with the intros really quickly. Gray, who's had a rough time last week because essentially his life fell apart and he wasn't able to come and be with us, with me and Warren. He missed us.
You're right. There were some bright spots in last week. I didn't have to do MSK's show, so that was awesome. But speaking of bright spots, the sun was out today. It's a much different day. So happy to be here, feeling energized. Yeah, well, last week was just the most expensive week of my life. Not this week. We're good. Yeah.
You're not tilted. You're not mentally destroyed. It's okay, guys. You can always bounce back from stuff. But that's why we know that men are better than women. Just literally, when has it been better to be a man now? All you have to do, get a job, get a good place to live, maybe get a car if you need it, pay your bills, bring girls back home and bang them. What else you got to be complaining about? No, what kind of dude sits around with a bunch of other dudes talking about their feelings? Like, that's stupid. Like, the way I like to look at it is this. Life will give you reasons to be sad. There's no reason to be sad just because, you know what I mean? Like, life will give you plenty of reasons to fucking feel pretty bad. Like, life is pretty terrible most of the time, But that will come. You don't need to be fucking igniting that on your own. Like, oh my God, my life sucks. Well, fucking fix this. I'm being a fucking loser half the time. But nevertheless, Lunchbox Warren, who's raging out today on social media, He went a little crazy, you know, obviously MAGA for life, you know, as you know.
Obviously.
Trump today for International Women's Day has highlighted that you need to be a legitimate woman, you know, to basically celebrate International Women's Day. If you were born with basically not a vagina, you're not a woman, honestly, which is kind of the thing that needs to be a criteria for women, honestly, you know? All right, I'm not kicking you while you're down. You're doing fine. I think you sometimes like psyop yourself into believing you're not doing okay. You're doing completely fine. You're actually doing better than a lot of the women out there currently. So you're already doing good. So you should feel good about yourself, lady. But
I had a rough day, but it's done now. I'm working on my comic book. Issue 4 is going good. Penciling pages, some of my best stuff yet, and getting ready for my comic book convention. So just focusing on the professional work part of it, just staying out of all the bullshit.
Too much is going on.
Oh, yeah.
I tell people that all the time. Yeah. What do you want to say, Gray? Well, you left
Sorry, my dog started barking just then. I was just saying, hell yeah, that sounds awesome, man. I'm glad that it's coming along well, Lunchbox. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's moving along really well. I feel like I'm kind of in an artistic zone right now. Everything's just really smoothly coming out of me, so I'm having fun.
Oh, just to let you guys know, for the second week of April coming up, which is going to be the week from the 6th to the 12th, Lunchbox Warren and my show that we do on Thursday and Friday won't be happening that week because he'll be out of town, right? He'll be out of town from basically the 10th through the 13th, you said, right?
9th through the 4th. I'll be back home on the 14th, which is on the 14th. Monday.
Yeah. And then on that week, the reason why we won't have a show on Thursday is because I'll be out of town that following week. I'm going to the F&T meetup in Vegas. So I'll be out Wednesday and Thursday too. So I'll be back Friday because I have to work Friday. So I'm leaving the meetup and just coming straight back home. I'll work probably like 10 to 6, 9 to 5. That way I at least have some time to get back home in time. Friday we'll have a show, 17th. Not the 17th, 18th, we'll have a show. So after basically, within about not this week, but the next one, we'll have to let you guys know when the shows will be because, you know, you're going to be gone. I'll essentially be gone for a little bit there, but I'll be back. Don't worry, guys. So we'll have to play it by ear, but don't worry. I have some things in the works. I have some one-on-ones that I want to do in that meantime. So when Warren's not here on Thursday and Friday, you know what's going to happen? I'll have some cool one-on-ones to do with a lot of people, you know? Maybe I get a show with the boys going, you know? But forgot, he's also part of the boys. So you won't be there with the boys, man. God damn. No, don't worry, guys. We're going to let you guys know what's going to happen. So, yeah, we essentially just have, one more week of that. And then, man, we're already almost closing in on 200 episodes. You know, the goal for the show this year is to just hit 300 episodes. It is. But if we end up hitting anything past that, like we end up getting closer to like 400 episodes or like 450 toward the end of the year, that's awesome too. So that way going into 2026, we could already work on like hitting close to 600 where the Iron Man podcast used to be at. And the ultimate goal is to hit 1,000 episodes. No more 500, 400, 300. No, my ultimate goal is hitting 1,000. I need to hit those.
Do we
4
count
digits.
Restarts?
No. Full length episodes. Gray. How are you gonna do that to me? You threw during the what in the world? Are you a crackhead? What the fuck? I have sex with women. Actually, that's a me thing. You know. So I know you guys are probably wondering like what happened with some of the content. It's not that I'm don't want to do it. It's just I've been very, very busy. So like all the videos that we've been recording on the show, and I do thank everyone for helping me do that. They'll be released. Don't worry. I'm literally diligently working on building up. Uploading the editor and then just kind of just doing it. Obviously, I recorded the episode of Comic Book Market Watch. It's already done. I have to put out one more Batman Hush 2 comic book video before that one, and then I'll put out the Comic Book Market Watch episode. Moving forward, I do want to try to make sure I keep them coming out hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday, but as you guys know, I'm still working on trying to get the way I want this series to work for you guys. You guys can expect a new episode should drop between Monday through Wednesday. So don't worry, guys. It's all going to work out. We have comic book reviews here. We have movie reviews. We literally do everything on the show. We do everything. This is the best show on YouTube. Like,
that's right.
Who would disagree with me? You have me, talent, personality, charisma, knowledge, good looking, successful, and I have you clout chasing fucks. So, then again, we'll end up being there. Right? Someone said Laps was the star. No, don't worry. Laps is not the star. I am DB.
No, just the talent.
Are you the talent?
Carries the show.
Wait, didn't Kitty come back? I saw on Twitter she came back early. Oh, okay.
Not early. She was gone for like 3 weeks. She is back now, though. Yes.
That is crazy. Tell her that I missed her. I'm glad she's back. It's nice to have my Italian Mamma Mia back. She can make me some spaghetti, actually. No?
I'll totally say that. Totally.
Oh, God. And just to get a quick little update, I know you guys don't care about this stuff, but we have to kind of see how we're doing on IMDb. So as you guys know, the MSK show has an IMDb page here. I didn't make this. I don't know who did. I don't even have one of these for like my Cloud9 podcast, which is at like 300 plus episodes currently right now. And I've been running that show since 2020. Gray,
I think that you somehow did this.
I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I truly didn't. I don't even know how to do this, honestly. Gray has 28 episode appearances. You're about to beat Darnell in the most episode appearances. So by next week, you'll have more.
On the episodes that, can actually be seen. Because I was on some of those secret episodes that are on a channel that no longer exists.
YouTube may or may not have canceled me because I said some things that were true. But that's how it works.
See how it goes.
Darnell, Emerald, they do their own thing now on Emerald show. Arza, he's on Rogues Gallery and Theo's show most of the time. Cyfax was here on Monday. He had a rough couple of 2 weeks. He was going through some life stuff, but he'll most likely be here on. I'm going to try to make sure he's on, if I can, Mondays and Saturdays, actually. Because he used to do Wednesdays, but that was too much for him because like work and shit like that. So I just knocked it down to 2 days. I gotta talk to Society again. I haven't talked to Society in a while, honestly. Savage Dad is 17 episodes. Laps has 13 episodes. That's crazy. Where's Warren at? Are you this shit. Warren?
Yeah, that's me.
You're this Warren. You have 6 episodes. Yeah. That's crazy. God. Goodness gracious. When are you gonna be up here with the 30 episode appearances?
After about 25 more
20 more weeks. Probably will. These are episodes. These ain't your 30-minute episodes of TV. These are hour-long plus episodes. Sometimes these reach into 2 hours ongoing. You need decent equipment first, and then you can come on. Once you have decent equipment, then you can come on. Potentially, maybe, because I don't know.
Why are you judging her equipment, man?
Because we are the utmost proficient at quality and professionalism here. No,
really?
I don't think so. That's what you have to say to people. Because if you don't say that, that kind of sounds kind of funky. But yeah, like, I mean, I tell people this: don't be surprised if the Avengers movies make a lot of money. I mean, it's Avengers. Literally, just the name itself will probably garner that movie, both of them, minimum $600 million. That's minimum. Like, I do believe there'll be box office hits, but I don't know if they'll end up having the same level of hype, anticipation that Infinity War and Endgame have. I don't think they won't have that level yet.
I think they will, actually.
You think so? They might. I mean, well, there's no way it'll be as big as Endgame or Infinity War, but I think they'll be hyped just because they're Avengers movies.
The one thing that's got going for them is that how bad Marvel's doing now. So you bring back the Russo brothers, who arguably did the best Marvel content aside from maybe James Gunn, and then you're adding RDJ in. If the trailers look good, if the news we're hearing is good, if everything starts going good for it, I think you're going to see a Deadpool kind of like response, except it's going to be all ages because it's an all ages show. I think it has a potential. I would say if it makes less, I would be surprised if it didn't make 800 million. Bottom line, like I'd be surprised.
Every Avengers movie has made $1 billion plus. If it,
yeah,
if these are the only Avengers movies to not make $1 billion. I mean,
so a couple things. So I hope so, Warren. I really liked those Avengers movies. I'm hoping they can get back up to that height because, man, it seems like they're in a low spot right now.
Did you watch The Electric State? They had Russo Brothers dropped a new movie.
I didn't. I kind of heard mixed reviews on it, so I've just been dragging my feet. I've been watching everything other than that, but I'm sure I'll get around to it.
What movies of theirs have you watched outside of the Marvel ones? The only one I saw was Extraction. That was with Chris Hemsworth. I think one of them did it, right? Yeah. One of them.
No, that was the stunt coordinator from the Avenger Russo movie.
So they produced it. I think
they produced it. They were executive producers for it. Yeah.
Okay.
They did
they did the Amazon Gray Man with Ana de Armas and Chris Evans.
That one wasn't terrible.
They did Cherry. That was with Tom Holland.
Yeah, they did a TV series for Amazon about spies called oh god, I want to say it was Chapel or some shit like that. It wasn't. I wasn't that into it. Yeah, they haven't had massive success since they did Endgame. But that's them handling Marvel properties. Might be like how Peter Jackson handles Lord of the Rings, where his normal films are like crap, but then when he's handling someone else's project, he can bring it to life really well.
Yeah. They wrote Extraction. They wrote and produced it because that's a graphic. That movie is actually based on a graphic novel. That's what I'm coming to think about now too. Most movies that you watch, that you hear the names of, barring insert how many that you kind of think of, I didn't know Extraction was based off a book. Most things are literally based off a book or a poet or a poem or some shit at this point now. Like, what is not based off of something?
All these streaming services are hungry for content, so they're starting to go to indie books and finding. And the plus two in the indie comic scene, there are comic books made specifically to be test projects for movies. So they do a graphic novel, they pay like $4,000 to have a graphic novel made, put it out on Kickstarter with like Keanu Reeves' Berserk. It's going to become a film or a film series, I believe. Tom Holland has a book series for, I want to say it's Image. I forgot the name of it. I have 2 issues of it. Not Tom Holland. I'm sorry. The guy who played Bane. I can't think of his damn name right now.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy has a comic book out, and it looks like it could be a potential flagpole series for him. So I'm not too surprised. Like, it is interesting, though, when you see these movies, and you're like, oh, shit, I never even heard of that comic book.
Wait, Tom Hardy's going to do a comic book? He's going to crowdfund one?
No, he already has one, man.
He has one. He's written a comic book for, I want to say Image, but it might be Dark
Horse. That's crazy. MSK? What about that lady from wrestling, Ronda Rousey? Didn't she crowdfund a book? I saw the ads on YouTube.
Crowdfunded a comic book. I'm not sure how well it did. I
don't think no one talked about it. I saw the ads on YouTube. I don't have ad blocker, so I see all that stuff. No one talked about it. Yeah, you see a few stars here and there dip into the crowdfunding model, actually. Just a few.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see that more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you got a name of recognition. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But kind of speaking of that, MSK, you had asked me which Russo brother ones I'd seen. Way more than I thought. So I remember back in the day, they did this one called Welcome to Collinwood. That's like 2002, like way back in the day. Then they did like Arrested Development, Yumi and Dupree. They were on Community, as Emily pointed out, and then Animal Practice. And there is one other one that I swear I saw. But so I've seen a lot of their TV stuff, and then when they dabbled in comedy. But other than that, the main ones definitely are the Avengers. But I know previously all the Avengers ones were $1 billion, but I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, when you look at the previous Captain America movies, it also was just like going straight up, and then we're in this kind of lull. Even Disney's regular movies don't seem to be doing amazing.
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think what
know.
you're saying. Basically, like when you're in this current landscape of Disney and Marvel and the MCU, is it the right expectation to think that they should be hitting the same billion-dollar heights that the other previous 4 Avengers movies did? Like to the average
hope it
person,
does.
yes. But you're right. No, I wasn't disagreeing. It was just like I think you're right. It's like you shouldn't expect them to hit the billion plus $2 billion like they did before. These just don't
I think
have.
you kind of have to with this one. Because okay, so they brought the Russos back. I can't remember how much they ended up paying them, but that was like astronomical. Then
RDJ
same thing with
got what,
RDJ.
90 million? Just 90 million
But
for
then
coming back? That's a lot of money.
I
Yeah.
think so, but I don't know if that's for both of them or just for one.
Mhm.
That was a little unclear to me in the way that it was in the press thing. But they're also talking about bringing like Chris Evans back and a few other people. They've got to be pretty deep into this already. So I think they're banking on it having to be like $1 billion movie. And I don't know. I hope it doesn't bring down the whole ship if for some reason it doesn't.
Well, it might
the other problem is
being a make a break for him too.
I think it might be, which is sad, but I feel like it's going to touch on a lot of the same notes that Deadpool Wolverine did. That seems very much like this whole battle world thing that they're working up to, and I don't know if people want to see that again, but on an Avengers scale. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it's all about the hype that gets built up before, and the problem is, as I agree with you guys too, is they've been doing so bad. The other Avenger films had good movies building up to it, and then they would have the big deal. So there was always a wave that the riding up to the Avenger film. This film has to make the wave, and it could end up being, honestly, a studio breaking film that if it doesn't do good, and if there's a lot of bullshit that happens behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff starts happening, rumor was they start doing reshoots, and we're looking at easily a $300 to $400 million movie budget just to make the movie itself. So it's like, if you're already going to start off at 400 million and then you can do advertising 600 million, they're going to need to do $1 billion just to be considered. Well, they wouldn't even be considered a success because you got to double the budget rate. So it's like they're going to have to do 1.2 billion just to be a success if it balloons that high. So yeah, it's going to be a rough one. Like even with the actors they showed on those chairs, there's like $100 million worth of fees right there.
Yeah, just
like all of them
before they factor in like production and insurance and flying out to places to film and building sets and special effects and all that stuff. Guys, just from the cast alone, they probably already spent a good $150 million on the cast. And I'm probably being really generous there because RDJ is probably 90 million of that, honestly.
Unless they've got contracts for multiple films, and that's kind of like a basketball player. So it's like, we've got RDJ for 5 years at 90 million, a kind of deal. Or I'm not sure how they're working. They also do back end deals too, or percentages. RDJ made a lot of money off of percentages. I think Infinity War he made 20 million like in the first week. Off the bat,
but remember, that was the thing you could do some years ago, which is crazy now because Infinity War only came out at this point now, which is crazy. But now 7 years? Is it 7 years ago at this point now?
Been that long?
Jeez. Man, how time has flown. Infinity War on its 7-year anniversary. Yeah, back then when you said it, which was not that long ago, you could have that box office incentive to make extra money, at least for like some movies, right? But now it's hard to know if these don't reach the box office heights of the previous 4. That would indicate that this saga, the multiverse saga for Marvel, has just not been hitting. Because you had people in like the comment sections that were like, "Oh, I thought Marvel was dead." I swear, I think the average person is retarded as hell, guys. Them announcing these stars doesn't imply that they haven't been struggling. Keep in mind, if Doomsday and Secret Wars makes like $1 billion plus and gets close to $2 billion, that doesn't automatically mean that the other movies that we saw weren't complete failures and complete dog shit. Yeah, these could save Marvel. I hope they do. But let's be honest here. Outside of this, they're going to have to like reboot to something. And then are we going to go through the same thing before another Avengers movie? Because these two would be considered what, Avengers 5 and 6. So before we get to an Avengers 7, they said we're going to be getting to like X-Men. The way that Marvel and they've been having writers come, they've been having all this shit happen. Like, do we really think the next phase is going to have any more good crop of movies compared to this one? I mean, what's going to change? They're going to make all this money from Doomsday and Secret Wars, as we think, right? And it's going to get to their head again. They're going to go like, man, we really did it. We did a great job here. Now let's just start shitting out some bullshit again. What's to stop them at that point? Like, I don't know.
Well, if you look at Captain America, the new one, I think the last I read, it was going to probably max out around like a $470 million, which is essentially a failure because we know the budget ballooned up to $200 million, and then another $100 million on for ads or advertisements. So right there, it's $300 million. They made 400, so that was a failure. Deadpool made them money. They've got Thunderbolts coming out, which is a stacked summer release schedule. So Thunderbolts is going to be against that. I don't know what the budget of Thunderbolts ballooned up to yet, but
given the track record of the budget's ballooning, because I don't know, because this thing is people ask, how will we know if Brave New World's budget is real? The problem with Brave New World compared to the other ones is that they filmed a lot of them in the UK. In the UK, and to get the tax credit incentives back, they have to file how much money they actually were utilizing for the movie, or how much whatever company helped them with the movie. There was a direct reason why we could know if they lied about the budgets, because they have to file taxes. Brave New World was shot all here in America. We will never know if that movie's budget was real or not. But let's be honest here. If we speculate on even just the rumored budget where it ballooned to, it's a failure anyway. Even if they wanted to use the budget that they say it is, still a failure. Because keep in mind, you have to add in $100 million for marketing anyway. So that would put it to like 280 anyway. If it's at 280, it would be a colossal failure. I don't know why they thought telling us a lied budget was gonna sour the blow or anything, or soften the blow, as they say. It wasn't gonna change anything. It's actually gonna make it even worse. Hey, you failed lying, and you also failed not telling the truth. Don't know why you did it. So
it's all because of stocks. If they, if failure after failure makes their stocks options go down, and then the people who have stock gets all pissed off.
This never happened ever. It was just a favor that someone chose to pay me back, which is awesome. I'm a single, hot, rich, good-looking man, as you guys know. That's how it works.
I mean, I think one of those is true.
Lies.
You are
only one of those is true.
I simp forever, every single woman. I really just don't talk to her, as you guys think. I really don't. Her brain is dirt and a tumbleweed rolling down that shit. I would rather not most of the days, but it's okay. I ended up getting some awesome shirts at a thrift store yesterday. I got some sweatpants, so when I put them on, my butt can hang out. A lot of girls can hit on me. So life's pretty good, actually. But I don't know what's
These
this
girls,
note. I think
are they in prison society? What's up with the I don't know. It sounded like you were going to SAG as if a signal, and that's your way of attracting women.
I'm pretty sure I wasn't going that far, but when you had people that were like, "Oh my God, Marvel's so back," how in the world would you think they're back? Yeah, I would hope their Avengers movies they choose to go all out for. Oh, great! Can't wait to watch The Great Namor again. Yeah, I didn't see Black Panther 2. I didn't choose to watch it because let's be honest with you, they didn't recast T'Challa. I was not going to really see it because of that mostly, but I didn't really have hope for Marvel movies at that point in time because I had just seen She-Hulk and Love and Thunder. Obviously, great pieces of cinema right there for both TV and movies. So I literally just typed up Namor fighting Sherry on YouTube just to see what it looked like. I was like, this guy sucks. Who the fuck? That's Namor? Holy fucking shit.
I want to become one of those paid simps where Disney sends me money and I'm just all like, oh, this movie was great.
You guys need to go gift boxes and stuff. Oh, remember back in the day, people used to actually get loot crates for simping for companies.
They used to actually give you a lot of premieres. Yeah. I'll go to early showings of it, and a week before it, I'll be on my TikTok going this movie was great, guys. Don't listen to it. Watch this movie. Just cash in the mouse checks.
God, man. How do people do that? I don't get it. Like, of course they're gonna go all out for Avengers, guys. Like RDJ specifically said he was gonna only come back if the Russo brothers do it. There was also a rumor that Kevin Feige is gonna pay close attention to the script, given based off of what had happened on the Electric State, the movie that came out directed by them when it dropped on Netflix. Yeah, Kevin Feige paying attention to a script doesn't make it better either, guys. He's ran it down for how many years at this point in Marvel? How many years this guy ran it down? A lot. I mean, he's the one that made the MCU look like this. I mean, Ike Perlmutter was trying to tell him how stupid his ideas were. And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. He's racist. And then he wanted the MCU to look like this, and he's the reason why it's in this position that it's in. Oh, before we go to our only topic, I know Gray saw this earlier today. His friend, the Mayo, decided to basically destroy Kevin Feige, honestly. You know what? Bo DeMayo actually just going scorched earth on Marvel was not on my bingo card for 2025. You know? I saw this guy and heard of him at that Comic-Con when they first announced X-Men 97, but Bo DeMayo decided to roast Marvel after their chair stream ended, where they revealed a bunch of fucking worthless nobodies and basically trying to grab everyone from the past Marvel universes to put them back in Avengers Doomsday to get people to come back. Like we said here, Doomsday is going to be successful. It's Avengers. People go and watch those movies. They have a big proven track record. But given the current Marvel landscape, I don't know if they'll be as successful as the previous four. But he ended up saying, in the voice of Emma Frost, well, I can't do that because I'm not a girl. I'm a hot, sexy dude, and I know he likes that, but I'm straight.
Just try. Just for the audience.
The audience wants you to.
Yeah, entertaining the audience with my beautiful good looks is already good enough for you people. Am I right?
Not very. What if you did it as your shirt-buying friend? I don't know.
Lennon? Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't stand being around that girl. She's crazy. In the voice of Emma Frost, here's the set of chairs of actors who will be cosplaying as B-list characters with meh-rated, rushed movies that built no audience affinity, all starring in a damage control pivot project helmed by two directors who haven't been able to direct a decent film in 7 years. Starring a cosplaying celebrity repurposed as a villain who breaks canon and has not even been set up as a threat yet.
He has a point.
Could you be any more out of touch with their fans at Marvel Studios? They deserve better. This is worse than the Democrats thinking Beyonce would win them the race. Woo! Damn! Just going full scorched earth on Marvel.
MSK. The chat is unanimously crying that they need this.
They need the voice.
Can you just try a couple?
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
I think the GOAT has spoken. So
one line reading. Come on.
Just do the voice.
I mean, I don't disagree with him. Like, yeah, there are some big names there. There are some characters that are a draw. But there's a reason why they added in those Fox Marvel movies from the past for those casts. There's a reason why that is. Because they know the people that they have currently are not huge enough box office draws compared to those guys. People love Ian McKellen as Magneto. He will be a draw. People like Patrick Stewart as Professor X. He is a draw. James Marsden as Cyclops. No. Rebecca Romijn as Mystique. No. But you have Professor X and Magneto, which is good enough. You know?
What's Mystique's name? The actress?
I forgot. You need a hug? Badger, you are 100% correct. I get you're mad, but do you even like Marvel Comics? Yeah, because that obviously has to deal with what he put here. Yeah, because comics are the reason why he made this post. Are you fucking retarded? And no, Marvel Comics recently, guys, have not been good. I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but they've been circling the drain with a lot of those comic books too. Not the Ultimate Universe, but titles in the main universe haven't been grabbing people. Like, literally, guys, unless it's their alternate universe right now, or if it's X-Men, Spider-Man, or Wonder or Wolverine, nothing sells for them. Like, first of all, how we're talking about these movies imply that he doesn't like Marvel. What the fuck? This is why the average person on this app is a retard. How in the world did you get that from this? You literally just have to
your preferred method of communication, though, right? X.
Like
when you send me invites for the show, it's usually on X.
Like you literally would have not have to even read what he said, and you literally would have just had to just start typing like some keyboard warrior. And he said, right, but B-list characters, X3's Beast, Falcon sidekick, Shang-Chi, Thunderbolts. Yeah, I'd argue those are like less than B. If I'm being honest here, Kelsey Grammer as Beast he was okay. I think Nicholas Hoult was a little bit better, but he's okay. He's the most known one out of all of these. No one fucking cares about Simu Liu as Shang-Chi. Thunderbolt's but most
it's kind of the
guy right now
is Fox ones, right? Because you got to choose between Magneto and Xavier. Which one's better? Like,
and Nicholas Hoult wouldn't have been in it because Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor now in Superman, and he wouldn't have been able to film, so that's fine.
At the end of the Marvels movie, the extra credit scene or the end of the credit scene had Kelsey Grammer voicing the Beast. Mm-hmm. So it's most likely going to be that Beast, which looks kind of like honestly, they look like X-Men 97 designs, or Beast did. They might be doing something kind of like that, except using Fox actors. I don't know, though. I understand why they're using these guys because, like, Falcon is the new Captain America, so you're going to use him. Shang-Chi was a new Phase movie. Thunderbolts is coming out, in May? So, I mean...
Shang-Chi is their diversity hire Asian that they have to put in because they have their DEI quota.
Shang-Chi movie, except for the ending, but the beginning part was pretty good.
I think it falls in the same category as Brave New World. It's just kind of middling of the pack. It's not like offensive, but it's just
scenes.
Yeah, that's really all it had.
Yeah.
These are not iconic characters that Marvel has invested time in building audience affinity with. This is the same mistake they made with the Eternals. This guy says, bro, calling Captain America Falcon. Yeah, he's not Captain America. And a lot of people that didn't go see the movie thought the same. Sam hasn't been Falcon since Endgame. Well, he sure isn't Captain America, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Yikes, dude. That's such a bad look. Fucking mouth-breathing retards on this app. Holy shit. I've been rocking with Bo, but these social media bitch fits you having is not the move, my guy. Don't let them know they still got you in your feelings. Oh, and don't swerve out of that lane when it comes to Bay. What the? I hate people do that. Hey, I know that we all basically agree with this. I know we all agree with this, but hey, you shouldn't say it because it looks bad. Okay, so in life, when shit hits the fan, you should just do nothing, obviously. Just don't say anything. Just kind of accept what you get. Like, no, I hate people who say that. That's actually a big pet peeve of mine. We all know what he's saying is exactly true, but he's never going to work for them anyway. Guys, you think they're going to hire him anymore? He's not going to be hired anymore. You're fucking mind. He knows that.
Well,
what are we doing here?
Here's a question. Is the Fox X-Men just there for this movie because they're going to do their own X-Men in the MCU, like younger castings?
Yes.
You've heard all the rumors. So is this just going to be like a cameo, or they'll be in...
I think it's going to land up until the end of it, and then supposedly they reboot everything.
Oh, okay.
Shots
but
fired.
I don't even know if that's true, because they were talking about they were going to essentially do an X movie, and then it's going to be the cast of X-Men 97, like that roster, not those exact characters, but that roster. So I don't know. That could be cool, but I think you'd have to go younger. Like, there's no way any of those Fox ones would work at this point.
Well, no, I would really think that'd be a big mistake. I understand the nostalgia thing, and don't get me wrong, it's kind of cool to see Patrick Stewart back, but even though I prefer McAvoy and Fassbender, it's still cool. But at the same time, though, it's like you guys have no build up. So far, your Captain America movie's not doing great. Thunderbolts has a lot to carry. Spider-Man is going to be a build up for it, but that's going to be shared everything with Sony. So I mean, they're really this one is not as big easy as a setup as like Endgame or Infinity War was. This is
they
going to be a
had
lot of
layups
work
there with Infinity War and Endgame due to the previous movies. These don't have that. I mean, Fantastic Four is supposed to. There's a reason why that one's coming out before Doomsday. Like that's going to set everything up. And it's whatever in shit's about to make $1 billion. All the whole argument of like, oh, if it made $1 billion, it must be a good movie, right? It's like, what are you for? Like,
I'm assuming there has to be some time travel shenanigans or multi-dimensional shenanigans going on with that one to set something up. But
I
don't know. It could be cool.
Like when you make this comment here, where like a few people commented on there, they're like, Democrats thought that Beyonce would help them win the election. I don't know if you mouth breathing retards in this app know this, because I think you're stupid. There's a reason why Kamala Harris endorsed like a bunch of celebrities to help her. She thought their influence would help garner more votes from the younger crowd. Like, why do you think Taylor Swift and Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce and Oprah and all these people were endorsing her? Well, she paid a lot of them off, obviously.
Yeah, they paid all of them too. Like that's why she spent like $180 million.
Like, this isn't wrong. They generally thought, because the left thought that they had all this influence with all these, performers and musicians and movie actors and TV show actors and stuff like that, voice actors, right? Yeah, they definitely thought having that amount of influence would help them win. This is also true. If anyone thinks that's not true, you're just out of touch and a moron, honestly. So no, I agree with all this. All this true. Like the only part that I slightly disagree with is that I don't think every single one of them is B-list, but that's a semantic little argument. But no, Beau DeMayo should definitely feel justified in what he's saying. They treated him like shit.
Especially as well received X-Men 97 was.
Yeah, and
it could have been so much better too. From hearing his interview on Diabolical Souls, like, man, what he had planned for the end would have been so amazing. He was going to do the whole Onslaught arc, and they basically made him stop it and then go abruptly into the arc that set everything up. But they basically had like 2 weeks to write the end. I think for having 2 weeks, that is an amazing end, and it's way stronger than like anything else that Marvel has done recently.
Yeah,
so that's one props to the man.
Yeah, man,
it's for sure.
So stupid sometimes. Or like X-Men 97. I watched the previous ones, but I haven't chance to see 97 yet. But what I heard people enjoying, that's good. Like, do you know how much was writing on? Because people didn't think they would do a good job at X-Men. Keep in mind, no one thinks Marvel will do anything a good job of any character, but doing X-Men, like, come on, they can barely do one character some justice. Now you're gonna try and do like 6-7 characters justice, a pretty big task, right? And he managed to do it.
It's pretty amazing. Some people have an argument that they kind of changed Rogue. Fair enough, but for me, it all really works. I really love what they ended up with.
And
some of the arcs,
remember?
That's some of the arcs go really fast, but other than that, man, it is. I don't know. I think it's my favorite adaptation of X-Men.
Why? So, keep in mind, what have we heard from Disney these past years in Marvel? Oh, we love our marginalized people. We love our gay people. He's gay, and you just fucked him over. So were you just virtue signaling, just saying some bullshit? Oh wait, I knew that. Because I'm not.
I was going to say that's their entire PR system is virtue signaling. Yeah. I mean, that's
they care about gay people, yet they care about gay people, yet they had that man rush his show, finish it out, and kick him off. But they care about gay people. Get the fuck out of here! How do you guys believe this? Makes no sense to me. So many times this company has screwed over people that they apparently love supporting. They love supporting black gay people. Yep. Told the guy to finish his show and fuck off.
Finn. The guy who played Finn got massively screwed over
Patty
on that
Jenkins,
Star Wars trilogy.
I mean, recently what was coming out with Rachel Zegler. Oh my God. They didn't want to go and reprimand Rachel Zegler because they thought it would result in a lawsuit. Same way Gina Carano's was. But guys, the reason why it's different is because Rachel Zegler knows where her bread is buttered. She wasn't going to sue shit. If they thought she was going to sue Disney, you're out of your mind. Gina Carano had backing because she legitimately did nothing wrong, and all she did was just kind of voice her opinions. Now, these kind of things were a little bit different with Rachel Zegler because Rachel Zegler was actually going around straight up antagonizing people, straight up saying just the most ludicrous of things. Now, come on, you can say whatever you want. We're all obviously free speech absolutists here. enjoy free speech. I believe in it a lot. But you can do it. You can say whatever you want, but that will have some sort of reaction amongst people. But people just generally thought Disney's way of treating Gina Carano, but how they fired her was very bad, and they were upset by it. Rachel Zegler's situation is a lot different. She's obviously going to be in favor of Disney because she wants to obviously work with them in the future again. She wasn't going to do that anyway. Like, she wasn't ever going to not sue them. What is wrong with you? How do you find these backgrounds, Gray? He got them from me. All right.
MSK, you want to prove that you're a free speech absolutist? And thanks for sending me the pictures of Bodomao. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. I'm a woman enthusiast. I love women, actually. So we'll get into our main topic here right now. So, hey everyone, I am a black guy and I'm ready to fuck your butthole. Just joking. I am a quality content making professional machine. You guys believe me?
No, I mean, you're making content. Again, I think it's like that 20% truth thing.
It's true.
We've talked about this.
Yeah. It's time to have some good old-fashioned fun here. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about, does James Gunn's Superman movie have to save Warner Brothers? So, James Gunn's DCU kicked off with Creature Commandos, and that was the soft launch, as he calls it. And then you get the bigger launch with the Superman movie that he is directing. That will be coming out in July of 2025, later on this year. And there is a lot riding on this movie, because if you guys remember what has happened with basically DC live action superhero movies, you can even just go as far as back as I like the Christopher Reeves Superman movie. We had all that drama that ended up happening with him in the later movies. The superhero movies with DC have been plagued with a lot of problems, actually. But if you just take from the most recent examples here, let's start with the DCEU. They hired Zack Snyder to direct a Superman movie because he was vouched for by Christopher Nolan. One of Nolan's most rare L's was potentially maybe getting Zack Snyder a job to direct superhero movies at DC. Zack Snyder was going to, be the Kevin Feige of DC, and we saw how that worked. Man of Steel is sure not a Superman movie, and sure not a good one at that. Yeah, some decent action scenes here and there, but not good. He had BVS, and that was trash, and Suicide Squad, which was cut up by the studio and not the real version that the director even directed. So that's just a fucked up piece of shit dog asshole movie they put out. Wonder Woman from Patty Jenkins, good, solid movie in my opinion. Then you had the Justice League debacle with the cast and firing Zack Snyder because his daughter died, and they let him go, or he took some time off, but they used it to fire him. They brought in Josh Whedon. You guys remember all that. Then they had leadership changes because of AT&T, and then you brought in Walter Amada to run the film division. Aquaman comes out, billion-dollar success. Aquaman making $1 billion over a Superman solo movie, a Batman and Superman team-up movie, a Wonder Woman movie, and a Suicide Squad movie with arguably the most iconic villains of Batman's Rogues Gallery, and a Justice League movie. So even though Aquaman made all that money, you knew that was a red flag. Like, Aquaman definitely should be making more than all of these guys, at least, right? So then after that, we got into this phase basically of like them trying to kind of like rebuild a already broken foundation. Like what they should have done, now that I look back on it, because they canceled universes for less. Remember when Green Lantern came out and it didn't do what they wanted? They just like canceled it, guys, because that was supposed to lead into another bigger universe. That was supposed to be their Iron Man. That was supposed to start a DCEU originally. They stopped it because they knew it didn't hit the way they wanted to. And DC does this in comic books as well. It's not just a movie thing or TV thing, right? So then after that, For Man of Steel, they didn't do that. They knew BVS wasn't liked by a lot of people. I don't care about Snyder, bro. Stupid morons. They're morons. They'll love anything Zack Snyder does. Zack Snyder just straight up directed a movie where two dudes are fucking each other in clown costumes while eating each other's shit off the floor, and they would like it. So their opinions are biased in such a way that means nothing. They like anything that guy puts out, right? So after BVS, they should have just stopped it. If you want to be technical, they should have stopped it at Justice League because he was already filming Justice League when BVS came out at the box office worldwide at the time. So they should have just stopped it at Justice League. Be honest here, they should have started over after that. But they didn't. They kept basically kicking this can down the road. We did get Shazam. That's my favorite one. I love the Shazam movie. The first one. Second one is not good. We ended up getting like Wonder Woman 84. That sucks. We did get the Snyder Cut. Do you guys really remember that? I know for sure. I fucking don't. We got fucking hell. We got the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. I like that one. That's my second favorite one. Really, really good. So damn, we're really fighting for fucking straws here. Like 2 out of 10, actually. Birds of Prey, garbage. That's one of the worst superhero movies ever. That movie sucks ball. That movie sucks ass. Black Adam, not really terrible, but just like meh. It's really just not good.
The Rock was terrible in that one.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Fucking hell, Flash, that sucked balls.
Yeah, but you couldn't stop talking about it. It had one of your favorite performances of the year. Plus the baby scene, the baby in the microwave. It's iconic.
We got Shazam 2. That sucked. After that, I gave up. After I watched Flash, I was like, just restart the universe. I'm done.
So after you watched all of them, you gave up?
That's the problem there. They had already got, literally got so bad. I was like, why finish these out? I didn't see Blue Beetle. Honestly, because it was that the whole Batman's a fascist thing. That wasn't really it. It was just like, I just didn't care at that point. It was not to do with like cinematic or anything like that. And people go, oh, if it doesn't have a sequel, then I can't watch it. It had nothing to do with that. I just didn't think it looked that appealing, honestly.
By that time, everyone knew the universe was over. James Gunn was already in charge by that time. So and the Aquaman.
I'm not going to say it was a great one, but he was better than a lot of the other DC ones.
I just didn't care.
Yeah, it's kind of meh.
You know,
it was just middle of the road.
And then you got Aquaman 2. I didn't watch that.
I didn't bother to see that one.
Me neither.
I thankfully did watch that when it was on. I think it was on Netflix or HBO Max for free, and I watched it.
That one had like 5 cuts or something like that to it. Did it feel like a real movie at the end?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, what happened was they were trying to reset the Snyderverse and go into Flashpoint
and change the tone,
and change everything. Yeah. Then James Gunn got hired, and then they went back and did more reshoots because then they were like, okay, well, now we can't set up a new universe if James Gunn's taking over.
That was another problem with them
originally.
Too, right?
Originally, like Michael Keaton was supposed to be at the end of Flash. They filmed scenes with him.
We saw
after
pictures.
Flash comes back. We saw pictures of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Then they changed that to Clooney, and then they did the connectivity with Blue Beetle didn't mean anything, and then Aquaman always felt like it was in a different universe, anyways. Yeah. So,
they wasted money going back and reshooting films they knew wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things because they were going to start in a whole new universe. I mean, we have the Batman that came out with Robert Pattinson, but that's DC Elseworld Black Label shit. I mean, I think I don't think the Joker 2 movie that came out, even though it bombed pretty bad, I don't know if it'll have an impact because the problem here with that argument is like, well, if no one
would have any impact
because
they're
if no one really
unrelated.
Because if no one really went and watched it, then they won't really then they won't really have that bad taste in their mouth going into this one. Because like some movies can kind of blend together. Like people watch them all in a row. So they're thinking like, oh, that was the last thing in my head. So like, I don't know if I'm going to be checking this out. So well, good thing since nobody fucking cared to watch that not good movie, then won't matter for Superman, obviously, you know?
You have to remember too, like with Marvel, we talked about how they have a problem with people with faith in their product because they're having bad stuff. Now
DC's always had that.
Now we're having a reboot. So now it's like, well, this is James Gunn. If you like James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, this is all brand new. This is Superman. if it doesn't, it's not going to go through all the crazy reshoots and ballooning budgets that Marvel's going through right now.
Yeah.
So if Superman does $1 billion, it's going to do $1 billion on like $150 million budget with like probably another $100 million for ads. So like around $200-300 million, it's going to do $1 billion. It's going to make a bunch of money. The problem that they're not facing is what Marvel is Marvel's facing the problem of a movie that like Captain America should do $400-500 million, but it should have only cost them like $150 to make it. They should get those costs down and not let these ballooning reshoots and this other crap happen. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the things. Gunn has good momentum going into Superman. Superman is an iconic character. And also there's positive around everything he's done. So like Suicide Squad was positive. Creatures Commandos is positive. Peacemaker's positive. So like he's riding a wave into Superman, which is going to help the project out because it is make or break. Like Marvel or Disney can do Avengers 1, have it flop, Avengers Dark or Doom, whatever, and have it do decently and still survive. Warner Brothers is like, we're going to sell this to Apple if you guys don't make a decent DC movie. I mean, they're in like bad shape right now. So I think this film has a lot going for it, and I think James Gunn has a lot of good faith. But it's what the universe needed was a real hardcore reboot. Like Marvel's trying to do a reboot storyline wise inside the universe.
It reminds me so much of their comics. Like Marvel doesn't do reboots; they'll just stick through bad periods and keep you in a bad period forever.
They're doing DC a big collected event, and
DC just does reboots constantly. There's so many parallels between their comic book universe and their movie ones. Between them both, it's crazy, right? And then as Warren said, they eventually hired their own Kevin Feige because people did say this, and I agree with this one. They needed a Kevin Feige because Marvel did have success with a leadership figure that kind of, I guess you could say, had an outline, but got most of the success through the directors, right? But DC never had that, and they needed that, and he gave them that. David Zaslav coming in with the merger and everything, because if you guys remember, AT&T, they sold it to Discovery. They got David Zaslav there, and he was like, "Hey, we need to prioritize DC because DC is very big." And he said Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings is the other ones, right? He said Shark Week was a very valuable asset to DC, to Warner Brothers. Hell yeah, I agree. Fuck yeah. Shark Week for life. But that's the other thing, which is, I mean, I believe in James Gunn. I think he can do it. I read his interviews talking about Superman. I have, and it looks like he really gets Superman, honestly. Because remember, it was originally called Superman Legacy. But fun fact, guys, we never had a Superman movie get released theatrically called Superman. Ever. Because people say, what about the Christopher Reeve one? No, it's called Superman the Movie. It's called campy titles from back in the day. But in my opinion, I don't think there's been a good Superman movie, I guess live action, since that original one. Because Superman 2, I'll be honest, I don't remember it that much. I know I watched it, but I don't remember it that much. Superman 3, I remember watching it, but I don't really fucking remember, honestly. Superman 4 is the one where he's lasering the Great Wall of China. Supergirl. Fuck. Superman Returns is trash. Superman Returns sucks. You know what? I don't know who Sims for Superman Returns. Guys, Superman Returns stinks. Oh, he sucks ass. Man of Steel. It's also not good. So yeah, not a good Superman live action movie since the original. Holy fucking shit. So I personally believe Superman has been done better justice in animation and TV shows like Smallville and Superman and Lois. I think he's been done justice there. Obviously Superman the animated series, he's been in like Superman versus the Elite was a very good animated movie. Superman Man of Tomorrow was good. As I think that was the only decent one out of that Tomorrowverse they tried doing. Death of Superman is a classic for a lot of people. Like, he's just treated better in animation and TV, and I would hope that this movie can do that. I think what this movie needs to do, be able to balance out this ensemble cast, and I do believe James Gunn can do it. He's been in the ensemble casting with superheroes for a while, with Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy. If anyone can balance out big casts, it's him, because that is the curse of superhero movies with big casts, is they kind of don't get the screen time and things kind of feel kind of stitched up with a lot of characters. Fully understandable. But there is box office pressure for Superman. Now, I will also say this. You guys know how hard I shit on movies that don't make profit for studio. If Superman doesn't make profit for Warner Brothers, I gotta justifiably shit on it the same way. I'm a pretty consistent guy here. I don't know the movie's budget. I don't. but I would imagine this movie's budget, if I had a ballpark, it has to be around what Brave New Worlds is, at least 180 minimum, at least. If it's less than 180, I would be surprised. And you got to factor in marketing. So I would put it around 200, 250 if I had a number in my head that I could throw out there for you guys. So this movie got to be bringing in like $800, $900 million to be a profitable, successful studio. Breaking even, not what Warner Brothers Studios needs right now. They don't need break even. You need fucking some money here. You know, we need actual cash. So what do you guys think the budget is? Do you think it's like 300? Do you think it's 200, 180, 150?
I'm going to go with 150.
Okay. Gray, what do you think the budget is?
You know, I don't want to agree with you, so
God.
I can't say 180 now. Yeah, I don't know. I got to go like 160 or something like that because, well, I guess I'll lowball it. I'll go 120. Let's go ahead and just go slightly over 100 mil for this one. I mean, it's got to kick off this entire new universe, and they are expecting it to be a huge hit. So I have to think they're spending big on it. But
you have to. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
there's not a lot of huge names in it. It's not like they're hiring like a Downey Jr. or anything like that. Like Nicholas Hoult is kind of huge, but I mean, he's not on that level. So I don't know, man. Maybe they could do it for like 100 mil.
Also, when this movie's coming out in July, guys, you have Jurassic World 7. Then you have Fantastic Four.
Oh shit! It's got the July opening,
and they're all coming
it's got to be a
out
bigger
one week
budget
after each other. And then this one's coming out, I think, before Fantastic Four, or I think it's Fantastic Four first, and it's this one that's Jurassic Park. So that's a big month, and July usually is the biggest month for cinemas, right? I think they might all just end up cannibalizing each other. I think Jurassic Park is in a league of its own. That's going to make $1 billion. People love dinosaurs. And if they change up the tone of it, what?
Other way from what I see. Superman July 11th, Fantastic Four July 25th. So
okay, good. Okay, so Superman is first, you said, right? Okay, so
that's what I'm showing.
They might all end up cannibalizing each other. That's crazy competition that month. I could easily see one of them pushing itself. No, do you guys think one of them will end up pushing each other back? I don't see it. I don't see any of them pushing out of that. I don't think so.
It's competing studios. And I think Disney's going to get that huge push. I think that's one of the reasons why they're doing Superman first. But I don't know, man. I think people have more faith in DC, but maybe that's just me.
I agree with that too. I mean, there's not much. The trailer for Fantastic Four didn't create a lot of hype.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Fine. Yeah.
So it depends on how well Thunderbolts does, but if Thunderbolts is a mess and then they're moving into Fantastic Four territory, if Superman is good and it has like 2 weeks to be in the box office, so number one for 2 weeks, and then Fantastic Four comes out and it has a drop off. If Superman isn't any good though, it might have a huge drop off the next weekend. So word of mouth is pretty powerful with these things. So we'll have to see how that one goes. If I was Warner Brothers, honestly, if they could have squeezed May, I would have done it, because you run a big film in a time period where you only have like 4 to 5 weeks.
We saw this happen with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, where basically like you had 3 new blockbusters come out. Mission Impossible came out before the other 2, and people just chose to watch the other 2 new ones because they were the newest ones that came out on the exact same like week, and people do that. But the thing here with Superman is, how much goodwill does DC have right now with people, given how many bad movies they put out in a row with their last previous iteration of what is called someone called that a universe. I would call it a pile of shit, but that's just my opinion.
Reboot, though. I think they got a ton. Well, I mean, it's all been rebooted. What do we have? We've had, I'm forgetting, Peacemaker, and then Creature Commandos. And I guess you can count The Suicide. Is it? I think Guns is The added to it, right?
Did you hear any good about Creature Commandos? Was there any good word of mouth about it?
Yeah, positive.
Surprise. I dug it, man. It's, I think, one of my favorite DC things in a long time. And the way that he can make you feel for some of these characters that you've got no right feeling anything for. I totally trust that he could do Superman justice. He
Hell
can hit
yeah.
those real dramatic notes. I'm digging it. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Superman box office pressure rises as expert says DC has to save Warner Brothers from going the way of Fox. So what that could mean for a lot of people that don't know about that kind of saying is if this movie essentially bombs, which I don't think is going to happen, then they could potentially be selling off other assets of their company to stay afloat, or they could potentially be talking about a merger because, you know, there were rumors that Paramount and them were going to merge. Warner Brothers was going to get bought out by like Apple. There's any way that it basically means if this doesn't work, problems are going to arise. Let's just say that. That's why I said in that last video we did talking about DC, I hope they don't keep announcing stuff because announcing all that stuff, because everything hinges on this. So we should like announce stuff and get a plan after this works to see like what really works and what's the gauge of how successful this is. But nevertheless, let's start going through and getting these juicy, spicy, hot and sexy details. A new report details the high expectations from Warner Brothers Discovery for James Gunn's new Superman movie and the larger DC universe. 2025 marks the year of the Man of Steel's return to the big screen, with Gunn's Superman movie set to arrive this summer. Since Superman will set the foundation for the rest of the DCU, there are a lot of expectations for how the David Cornsweet starring film will perform across the world. According to Puck, experts are claiming that Warner Brothers Discovery is extremely dependent on Superman's performance through DC Studios. In a new report from Puck, the word is that the movie has now taken on almost incalculable importance to Warner Brothers Discovery. If Warner's can't finally make the DC franchise work, there is genuine fear that the studio will go the way of Fox, which was swallowed by Disney in 2019. According to a Warner Brothers veteran, they stated the following about David Zaslav's hope for DC Studios in terms of Warner Brothers Discovery's future. The quote is, an essential element of the stock price is believing that the IP of DC is meaningful. David bet big that they can show the world that the DC IP can have real value. I believe that's real value too. I think it's never been given its true justice in live action, honestly. Superman is the first movie that will set the tone. They have a tremendous amount riding on it.
Hey, congratulations on pronouncing incalculable. Hell yeah.
I'm a genius for a reason. You think I work for CNN?
Man, one day, maybe.
Hell yeah, I can be that DEI hire. It's crucial to remember that even though the DC franchise has barely begun, there are a lot of other factors to take into consideration when it comes to DC's reception with the general audience. As much as Superman's box office results will be imperative, the response from critics and audience members is going to be more important than ever for DC Studios, especially after the last couple of years with the DCEU. While the DCEU movie timeline began with financial and fairly critical success, that's not true. That's actually not true at all. That's a fucking lie. Those movies started out with incredibly divisive reactions. Man of Steel is generally 50-50 with a lot of people. I would say more unfavorable than favorable. BVS, I don't think I've met a single human being that genuinely likes that movie outside of like Zack Snyder bro fanatics. That movie's fucking terrible. And then the Suicide Squad movie came out, that horrible chopped up edited one that wasn't even what the director had even made. Yeah, it never happened. But it only went south for every year that the franchise existed because the movies fucking stunk. As the DCEU began to suffer at the box office in light of fans not responding to their films, it got worse for every installment that would come afterwards since the audience gave up on their interest in this series of films. Yeah, people just gave up interest. Literally, if you couldn't even do Justice League or Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman, good. People are going to give up. Also, guys, at Zack Snyder, he was the impression for a lot of people, and his DC movies are definitely not fucking good at all. And that was the impression they got. Oh my God, my hopeful Superman is killing people. Oh my God, my Batman is like this. Oh my, Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman, but people like that one, I guess. But that was, Zack Snyder is the first impression on these people. That's why people give up interest. So if he's the reason, so if people lost interest, it was because of him, not because of anything else. That guy's a fucking hack. By the time 2023 wrapped up the DCEU franchise for good, every release that year underperformed for Warner Brothers Discovery and now the defunct DC Films division. This is why the Superman movie release will need as good reviews as possible with word of mouth, ideally helping fans get invested and excited for DC on the big screen. While there is pressure for the Superman movie, the upcoming DCU release has already shown a lot of promising signs that could easily lead to great financial success. To begin with, Gunn is a huge sell for general moviegoers. I agree with that, especially after his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy from Marvel Studios, with each installment being a commercial hit and mostly met with strong reception. Given Gunn's track record as a filmmaker, who is now also co-CEO of DC Studios and crucial in establishing the DCU, his role in writing, directing, and producing the movie holds some considerable promise. One of the biggest concepts fueling the DCU timeline is this continuity focused on a world where many superheroes are already established in this franchise. I know some people disagree with that. They would prefer all of the setup. I will say this. A lot of the DC stuff we watch that we know and love never had that. They never had the setup per se. It was kind of like, hey, I'll just make something good with the character that exists and kind of write a good story around that already existing. And then later you can get the backstory. I don't mind that approach. More people would have preferred a more traditional, I want it from the ground up. I don't disagree with that. But if you look at all the best DC stuff ever, they never had that. It was always, hey, this exists already. Let's kind of like explore this world with a good story. You know, that's my opinion. Based on what has been shown thus far, it seems the DCU is aiming to bring an element of old school heroism while also giving it a modern touch at the same time, which looks as though it could help Superman stand out in the current comic book climate. The current comic book climate is trash. If it can't stand out in this garbage era, I mean, guess it was always going to be destined to fail anyway. Because what's competition? Brave New World, the Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four? Oh, God. Oh, help me, Jesus. With Superman being the big icon that he is, having a film that isn't another origin, but just gets the Man of Steel, the Man of Tomorrow back into cinema, also has some considerable appeal. While Superman is primarily Clark Kent's story, the upcoming comic book adventure will also introduce other famous DC superheroes, with Krypton's last son still being early into his journey as a superhero. The Superman cast, which consists of multiple famous crime fighters, also elevates Clark's overall arc, especially with the Man of Steel and the other heroes operating in different contexts. However, their purpose isn't set up to spin-offs, which is good. You know, just let this movie come out and see where it goes. You don't need to be announcing a bunch of random spin-offs for characters that people may or may not even enjoy. And keep in mind, not every character needs a spin-off, as we keep saying, but rather to serve as a contrast to the journey Clark will go on in Superman. While time will tell how Superman actually does financially and critically, the marketing has so far been on a good trajectory, especially with the release for the first trailer back in December 2024. Since Gunn is still in post-production on Superman, it remains to be seen when the second trailer will be released as they get audiences more hyped for the film. But for now, the world will have to wait to see how Superman will perform this summer when Krypton's last son flies back into theaters. Oh yeah, we haven't gotten an official trailer yet. That first one was just kind of like a teaser, you know? I didn't mind the trailer. I had some issues with it, but I didn't hate the trailer at all. I thought it was fine. So this next one, I think, needs to be a little bit bigger of a hit, in my opinion. Like, need to see him in the next trailer genuinely interacting with people, talking and stuff like that. I feel like that was lacking from the first trailer. Everything else was fine, but like not seeing him interact and be Clark Kent was odd, but I get it. Just a teaser. But what about you, Warren? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm a huge James Gunn fan, so I'm like so positive about this film. I'm really almost a bad person to critique it because I'm just like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be, I'm trying to will it into existence.
Yeah.
I think the next trailer should have a lot of Lex in it. I would like to see, even maybe a monologue by him while the trailer goes on as an overlay, some more Lex Luthor. I was happy with what I saw in the trailer. I'm happy with what I hear about during James Gunn interviews. He's a real big fan of Christopher Reeve's Superman, which I am too. I liked the idea of what he's doing with it, and it's just I think it's going to be a good success for him. I just don't know about if it isn't. Let's play that game where it's just a bomb, right? Just a failure.
Mm-hmm.
I could see DC Studios being sold to Apple or to Netflix or to something along those lines. Whoever's willing to pony up the cash if this doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd see James Gunn pretty much essentially they would just sell off, and then all the future films would the only ones that would come out would be Wonder Woman or the Supergirl movie because it's already filmed or they're filming it right now. I don't think they started filming Clayface yet, so we would get a couple more movies and then it would be sold to Netflix or some shit. Who knows? I don't even know what that would do to the comic books because that's a whole other thing too. Like imagine this: they sell the IPs to Apple, and Apple could give a shit less about comic books.
Oh yeah,
they might shut down all floppy production
or
straight to digital through their app, and then we might only get graphic novels. I mean, it could happen. It's weird.
Or they do this thing of like, you need to sell me, you need to make money. They cut down half their line, and they only make titles that people actually pay for, which would be fucking whole godsend. But
there's always that too, yeah.
Gray, what is your final thoughts and opinions on does James Gunn's Superman movie have to save Warner Brothers? Actually,
I think it kind of does, but I mean, this is setting up how everything's going to be. And, we've just had kind of a disappointment with Marvel. And prior to that, we had a disappointment with DC. So I don't know. I think this is everybody's first kind of taste at what this new thing is going to be. I know not everybody watched Creature Commandos, hardly anybody. But, we did have kind of a taste with his previous The Suicide Squad and then Peacemaker. I think people know kind of what Tony's going to go for with the universe, but this is his first time tackling this character. And if he gets the tone wrong, which I haven't seen from either the teaser trailer or the trailer. So I don't know. I have a lot of faith in him. And I would like to see exactly what Warren pointed out in the next trailer. But I think this is kind of make or break for them. I think this is going to be whether people have faith in this or they want to look to kind of the alternative comic book things, which Invincible has been doing kind of amazing. So I think they might be going like that in the boys route, and then maybe that would give a chance for some lesser known properties to come out instead of just these tentpoles if somehow this doesn't succeed. But I have faith in them. I think it's going to. That's why I'm white knighting for Superman. I think James Gunn's got this.
I have faith in Gunn. In Gunn, I trust.
I believe, that James Gunn can do it as well. But Warren, where's your closing thoughts on this?
I think it's going to be a smart reboot for him. I think the budget's going to be a lot lower than what people think. I think it's going to end up causing a really top end when it clears $1 billion. I could see this movie clearing $1 billion, especially with the overseas market. They seem to be going for an older feel, but with a modern look. So I think Gunn's going to pull it off, and I think this could be a good launch for him. If it doesn't, it's going to be DC Studio. I don't think it's not an end for Warner Brothers, but it might be an end for DC Studios, where they're like, "Well, these IPs are useless to us. Sony, do you need? How much would you give us for them?" Or Netflix or Universal. I mean, who knows where this could happen? But I have faith in James Gunn, and I think it's going to do good.
All right. As for me, you guys know this movie pretty much has to do well. I mean, there's a lot riding on this. I mean, Warner Brothers made some incredibly bad financial decisions for most of their company's existence. Let's just say that. But when it came to basically them getting that Discovery merger, I think David Zaslav, while generating some type of revenue for them, that's not going to be enough. Like they're in so much debt. Like you would have to be generating hundred millions of dollars of consistent cash flow to get them out of it, But if the DC, U franchise can be successful at the box office or any other way they're trying to make, money off of it, what they could do, I'll just tackle this one last thing before we end this. If they ever want to capitalize on the comic book route, like if their movie franchise is successful, I would highly recommend making a comic book related universe for their property. That way you could get people that read comic books in the universe. Marvel really messed up with that with the MCU because they're talking about doing this whole Summer of Superman event with Superman. Why not, think about doing a comic book route for this universe? And I understand James Gunn wants to tie in everything with video games, movie, television, animation, all that stuff, which is good. You should have an interconnected universe of continuity. It's completely fine. But if you want to get people more interested, I think the comic book route won't be a bad idea at all. But so yeah, James Gunn, there's a lot of writing on you. I think you're going to do a good job on the Superman movie, so don't disappoint me. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace. Wow. You guys are clout chasing fucks. I had to carry you on that one. Give me one sec. What in the world?
Out of curiosity, do you have Tourette's? And is clout chasing one of your cries, if you will?
Hello?
No, you got nothing. Okay.
I like being hot, rich, and good looking. That's what I do, honestly. All right. Let me see what else we have here. Because tomorrow with me and Warren, let me see what we have here. Because we talked about doing Ultimate Wolverine #2 and Bug Wars number 1. Yeah, because I got to get Bug Wars reviewed tomorrow since we had it unfortunately not happen tonight. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, 2 comic book reviews is fine. And then, okay, so if you guys don't know, we have the Cloud9 podcast tomorrow with me and Chaz, 7:30 p.m. PST, Thursday. That's when we do our show with Warren. Then we have the one on Friday. Then I have a one-on-one. So we'll wrap up that Friday show in about an hour-ish after we get the topics done. I have a one-on-one after that. And then we'll have a panel show. We have the panel show. Hopefully it'll be with Cyfax and BS Warren Saturday. Sunday, we don't have an MSK show. So I'll probably and we have the Cloud9 podcast that day. And then I'll probably stream League if I have time. So that's what I have planned coming up as far as like content. He's doing nothing. I keep Warren locked away in a cage from a lot of you guys, and Baby Yoda is still looking at us. Damn.
In a different spot every time.
That's what happens with me when I have sex with my wife, actually. No? All right. Gray, what you got planned coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
What do you mean by spot? Yeah, stuff is gonna happen on my channel soon, but hey, if you just can't get enough, go on over to That Darn Kidda's channel. She just got back from Japan, so all the thinkers are getting back together tomorrow morning. I know we're catching up on her 3-week trip to Japan. I think we're talking about the weird leaks about the presidential leaks that were about war plans that were somehow sent directly to a journalist, and I want to say there was something else. I think adaptations adaptations towards movies or whatever. Do they ever quite adapt things right? So if any of that sounds fun, go over to YouTube at That Darn Kidda tomorrow morning, bright and early. I think 9 hours from now or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, good times. It's people from 5 different countries getting together, disagreeing about everything, but leaving somewhat amicably. So that sounds fun. Check it out, YouTube at That Darn Kidda. Other than that, content in the future. But that's about all I got going on. What about you, Warren? What do you have going on, sir?
I'm just working on issue 4 of my comic book series with a bunch of stuff that's been happening in the business with Diamond's bankruptcy now bought by Alliance, and with Kickstarter kind of faltering out at the end of COVID. I've decided that I'm going to start doing more graphic novels with my stuff. So I'm starting to get ready to combine the first 2 issues of my series into a graphic novel, as well as get the 4th one done and combine 3 and 4 into a graphic novel as well. And then just have 2 volumes and put out that way. But I'm working on issue 4, getting ready for Port Angeles, Washington for the SquatchCon, and just working my butt off, getting all the stuff ready for all that. So,
oh yeah, MSK. I think you've already explained, but what can the people expect from you, man?
I will tell you after this fire truck passes.
Yeah, so more fires, more content that's just burning so hot that the fire trucks have to come to hose down MSK because
his podcast is on fire.
Literally and figuratively.
Just hope you're not getting swatted or anything.
Oh no, man. But yeah, here we are working on just giving you guys more episodes. But basically after next week, I have to let you guys know about some of the episodes happening on certain days. So when we have Wednesday's show with me and Savage Jack, because it probably won't happen next week on Wednesday, because he said he might not be able to because, birthday stuff. We'll have our show, obviously, Wednesday. But the week after that, it'll just be, we won't have one because, I'll be out of town for Wednesday and Thursday. So, yeah, basically after next week, I got to let you guys know when we're going to have some of the shows. We'll just talk about it privately, and then we'll just kind of figure out a way to do them then. But we're closing in on 200 episodes. Man, think about this, guys. By the time we hit next year, we're going to be closer to like 700. We're just lean, mean, content making machines here. You guys have been carrying it.
That's on a serious note. Congratulations. That's a big thing to hit to 200. That's cool.
Damn, I already did it before. Yeah. It feels, I already hit 100 to 200 before. It feels okay. I just want to get to the motions.
Take the compliment. We're not giving you shit right now. Just take the damn compliment.
He's never heard one before.
God, man. These guys, I hate you guys. Oh, God.
No, but seriously, good. Congratulations, man.
So when we're at, basically, I'll feel good when we pass 600 episodes. That's when I'll feel good. But the goal is just 300 episodes just for this year. And then if we can get further past that up to a nice high note before the end of the year, that's good. I've already had so many podcasts, but we're kind of like in the DC all in moment right now. I'm all in on this show. After this, I ain't got nothing. So, we're going to be building this up. Eventually, when we hit 1,000 episodes, I don't know what we're going to do to celebrate. We're going to be having some like strippers on, probably have girls blow us or something. It's going to be a nice, fun party there, But the immediate goal, 300 episodes. Ultimate goal is 1,000. So we're good. So what else is there? What else is there to do? That's pretty much it for the comic book channel. I have 2 videos to release to you guys, so don't worry about that. And with this channel, I have to just clip out the videos that we already do and just upload them for you guys. So, expect some consistent content, coming up very, very soon. Oh my God, a puppy. It left. That thing that's what animals do. They just come up, hug, and leave. They're like, you already feed me and take care of me.
It's my brother's dog, but I will be here in the end of April. We'll be getting my own dog, and he will be joining the shows after he gets here. He just was born a couple weeks ago, so he has to kind of weaned off his mom.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, there you go, Bear. Go.
God, is it a small dog like that one?
Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a small one like that one. It's a wiener dog Chihuahua mix of Chiweenie or things.
Oh, Chiweenie. That's awesome. My parents had both when I was growing up. Not a mix, but both separately. I love both of those dogs. That'd be awesome, man.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Chihuahua fan now after that little guy.
he did it for you. He made
he warmed my heart.
Oh God. Well, Gray, what did I tell you? You gotta end up
a lot of lies.
You gotta get your channel going, man. What happened to you? You used to be so big and popular. Now you just kind of fell.
Just wait. I know you were chasing that clout. Don't worry. I will have some more clout for you to chase after very soon. I thought my channel was pretty dead. I threw out a video not well, I guess it was a couple months ago now, but you know, it got way more of a bite than I thought. So yeah, I'm working on something kind of big. So real soon. Tentative date of 420 is the launch.
Awesome. So yeah, so depending on my internet, I'm gonna try and make up for that League of Legends stream that I did on Monday, where it abruptly randomly ended, even though I put in an hour plus long stream. If that can't happen, then you have the Cloud9 podcast, and then you have the show with me and Warren reviewing Ultimate Wolverine issue number 2 and Bug Wars number 1. We would have gotten Bug Wars number 1 done tonight, but Savage Dad's internet decided to take a giant shit toward the end of the show. It's okay. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. But yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We're going to see you guys.